Have you ever wondered what's better than a freshly baked loaf of bread steaming on your kitchen counter and perfuming your house with the best scent ever? Well, you're lucky because I have the answers. All you have to do is donate all of your belongings to the cult and join us in a remote off-grid compound for all eternity. Oh, wait, that's for another video. No, for this one, the answer is salt pork bread. Yay! A leveled up daily bread recipe that will feed you, keep your energies up throughout the day, and have a savory taste that will get you coming back for more with each meal of the day. If that sounds like a great addition to your food rotation, then let's begin making it. If you've seen any of my other videos and you decided to come back for more, then I assume that you are finding some value in them. If that's the case, please bless me with your kindness by subscribing to the channel, as it helps me grow and become better. In return, I promise to bring you higher value content each time. Thank you very much. The ingredients that you will need are 1 kilo of bread flour, 6 grams or 1 teaspoon of salt, 10 grams of dry active yeast, 35 milliliters of oil, any vegetable oil will do, 600 milliliters of warm water, and 300 grams of salt pork or bacon. So, in a large bowl, mix the flour, salt, yeast, oil, and half of the water. Keep one hand clean, and using the other hand, start mixing the ingredients, going as deep in the bowl as possible to make sure that the flour at the bottom gets incorporated with the rest of the ingredients as well. Once the initial mix is done, keep adding the rest of the water slowly and keep mixing. Once all the water is in, start kneading the dough with a drill-like movement, just like you see me doing. This will stretch the gluten in the flour and give us a nice, delicious bread in the end. Repeat this motion for 5 minutes, after which you are done. That's the beauty of this method. It's not going to take 30 minutes of kneading and then leave you a tired mess after. Now you can clean your hands with a bit of flour and keep as much of the dough in the bowl instead of washing it away in the sink. Use this method anytime you are making dough by hand because it's easy, satisfying, and doesn't waste the dough at all. After this, sprinkle some flour on your work surface and pour the dough on it. We will shape it into a beautiful, smooth ball of goodness. Follow my movements and you'll be done in about 20 seconds. While the dough rests a bit, add some oil to the bottom of the mixing bowl and put the dough back in. The oil will allow us to easily take the dough out later after it's proofed without punching too much air out of it and by that compromising our rise. As soon as that's done, grab a clean tea towel, cover the bowl with it and set it in a warm part of your home where it will rise. And depending on the temperature of your home, this can take up to 2 hours, so don't panic after 1 hour if your dough didn't double in size. And speaking about doubling, that's our cue that the dough is ready and we can start with the next stage. But while the dough is rising, let's prepare our meat. If you want to know how to make your own quick salt pork, then check the link here. If not, you're probably best using bacon, as salt pork is not easy to find in any shops these days. I could never find any, so I make my own. Still, I got plenty of bacon making recipes as well, and if you're the self-sufficient, self-reliant type, choose whichever recipe you want from this playlist. Regardless, I am using salt pork, and before I'm gonna dice it, I've let it soak in cold water for 20 minutes to remove some of the excess salt. So dice the meat of your choice into whatever shape and size you prefer, and make sure that you eat some of it along the way, because that's how cooking should be. You know, you taste all the ingredients as you go along through the process, and by dinner time you're already full, so you can skip dinner. I should start a diet plan with that in mind. Now, keep an eye on the dough, and when it's done rising, sprinkle some flour on the work surface and put the dough on it. Then, using a knife or a bench scraper, split the dough into 2 equal parts and shape them individually into smooth balls, as we did before. Then cover them again with a tea towel and let them rest for 10 more minutes. A pro tip here is to set them 15 to 20 centimeters apart from each other, as they will keep rising and eventually become one again, like I will once I accept my mortality and deal with all my traumas. While we're waiting for the second rise, is the perfect time to prepare our baking trays. As you can see, my dough balls created a set of butt cheeks instead of the oneness I feared would happen. Regardless, sprinkle some flour on the work surface and using a rolling pin or a beer bottle, stretch the dough into a rectangular shape, making sure not to stretch it too thin. On this tapestry of fluffy love, sprinkle half of your salt pork or bacon bits, ensuring an even spread. Then roll it together, making sure that you tie in the ends. See how I do it. Then gently put them in the prepared baking trays and wonder at their insane cuteness as they rest in this bed of metal and waxy sheets. Lastly, brush the top with water to ensure a nice, shiny finish. Usually we're told to have the oven preheated and put them straight away in. I say that's babkis, and only now that we have brushed the top of the bread with water will we start the oven at 200 degrees Celsius. The reason is that we want to allow the loaves to rise a bit more before they get inside of the oven. In the stretching and rolling part, we took a lot of the air bubbles out and now the bread is deflated. So while the oven heats up, the yeast can ferment a bit more and rise the dough back to its optimal levels. When the oven reaches the temperature, place the loaves inside and start a 50-minute timer. After this time has passed, you have achieved baking mastery. Congratulations, you just made salt pork bread. So take the trays out, brush the loaves again with water for a nice soft crust and let them rest for 15 minutes. Trust me, time flies when you think about food. So after 15 minutes, take them out of the trays and admire them for 3 seconds, then slice into them and enjoy this delicious bread. I know you should wait until they are fully cooled down, but life is too short not to just stuff your face with some hot steaming meat bread. So enjoy this dish with your loved ones, or you know what, don't even tell them anything about it and eat it all on your own. I promise I won't judge. And if you enjoyed the video, then like and share it with others. I really hope that you will make this recipe and let me know about your results in the comments. Until then, I will see you next time.